If you are new to PvP in Skull and Bones, it can feel overwhelming, maybe even stressful. But don't worry, this video is for you. By the end, you'll have a solid foundation to start with PvP. We'll walk through a deadly ship build, usable in both PvP and PvE, and I'll show you why the Padewakang might become your new favorite ship. Here's how we'll do it. First, a custom ship build. Second, general PvP strategies and advice. To get started in PvP, you need two things. First, your own custom ship build. When you build your own ship, you understand its strengths and weaknesses. Don't rely on pre-made loadouts, you'll be at a disadvantage from the start. Second, courage. You'll learn the most by doing. Get out there. Fight. Improve. So let's build your first PvP ship together. We'll start with a medium ship. Medium ships balance offense, defense, and mobility, perfect for beginners. Right now, explosive builds dominate the meta, especially on ships like the Sloop and Schooner. But we'll use something different, the Padewakang. It's an underrated ship, but incredibly strong. It received a buff in Season 2, now it can have 4 top-deck weapon ports. That's basically a 33% increase in broadside damage. On top of that, the Siege perk was buffed from 20% to 35% damage increase. This ship shines at half sails. That makes it a great choice for tiebreakers where holding ground is key. Avoid full anchor builds early on. They take away one of the most important PvP skills, movement. We'll come back to movement later in the guide. Always build around your ship's perks. Our first perk is Detonate. Explosive hits have a 70% chance to trigger a blast. That's 1,000 damage in a 125 meter radius. It jumps to 100% if the target is ablaze. Plus, explosive weapon radius is boosted by 12%. Perfect for beginners since you don't need perfect aim. Our second perk is Siege. At speed level 1, you gain 35% weapon damage and 15% faster reloads for all weapons including auxiliaries. For weapons, we go with Ashbreakers all the way around. They deal heavy burning damage, perfect against meta ships like the Sloop, Schooner, and Garuda. None of them have natural fire resistance. And here's the key. It's not about raw damage numbers. It's about the damage that gets through your opponent's armor. We ascend them with Incendiary and Amplified Burning, twice, to maximize burning damage. Now, the damage shown on screen isn't the full story. At half sails, Siege adds 35% damage and 15% faster reload. Without Siege, we deal a little over 8,000 damage in about 7 seconds. That's around 1,100 damage per second. With Siege, this jumps to over 11,000 damage per shot, and with the reload buff, damage per second climbs close to 1,900. That means fights can end much faster. For auxiliary, we run the Crouching Tiger Mortar. It deals burning damage and applies taunt. Taunt is huge in PvP. When enemies deal about 40% less damage, you gain a massive advantage. Sure, rockets like the Warhammer hit harder, but we want to learn to hit mortar shots. We ascend with Rapid Reload, Amplified Burning, and Blast Range. Normally I'd recommend Blast Range twice, but Detonate already helps us land the shots. More important to hit the mortar shot than deal huge damage. You want that taunt applied. For armor, we choose Wyrmhide. It pairs perfectly with Siege at half sails. With the Bastion perk, you take 20% less damage while sailing at half sails or anchored. So at half sails, our damage output rises by 35%, we reload 15% faster, and take 20% less damage. For furniture, I recommend pieces that help us everywhere, not just in specific situations. Worm's Breath Churner, 5% more weapon damage, 20% more elemental damage, and it slows enemy reloads after shell shock. As our defensive option, we pick Beam Support, 7% more hull health, 7% more armor. To boost our damage even further, we choose Bombard Menuisier, 10% more bombard damage. Bombard works, 19% more elemental damage for bombards. Devil's Concoction, 12% more elemental damage, and 8% more range on all our weapons. Shell Packing Station, 5% bigger AoE radius, and 5% less reload time. If you have questions about this build or would approach it differently, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're still watching and this guide is helping you, consider subscribing. It really helps support the channel. Now, let's dive into efficiency and aiming. When it comes to dealing damage, it's all about efficiency. The best way to boost your damage output is hitting your shots. That's why we use bombards combined with the detonate perk. Bombards are easy to aim, have strong AoE, and are reliable under pressure. Always keep your quadrants rotating, don't just rely on your broadside. This reduces reload time and increases your shot intervals. Always know your effective range. Leading shots correctly makes every volley count. Now let's talk about movement. It's one of the most underestimated skills in PvP. Avoid anchor builds. They make you an easy target. Even opponents with poor aim can punish you, spam auxiliaries, and hit your weak point with ease. Half sails give you control. You can dodge shots, rotate faster, and maneuver around terrain. Always know where your weak point is. For the Padewakang, it's at the front. So fight with your broadside or rear whenever possible. Don't run chase builds that force you to stay close. You'll lose your siege perk, expose your weak point, and strip away your defense. Stay at range. There's no need to rush. Play smart with terrain. With bombards, you can use it to your advantage. Fire over islands for cover. Positioning like that gives you both offense and defense. For bracing, only use it when it's necessary. When you're bracing, you can't deal damage. Sometimes the best defense is offense. Save your brace for moments of heavy burst damage, especially from auxiliaries or when you know big damage is coming. Reflection is how you improve. If you sink, don't tilt. Analyze. Was it your build? An unwinnable 1 versus 3? Bad positioning, or just too many missed shots? Ask the right question. Adjust. And try again. Every fight makes you better. And remember, be friendly to other players. People rage, people flame, and some abuse glitched mechanics to feel stronger. Just ignore it. Have fun. It's just a game. This Padewakang build hits hard, it survives well, and it teaches the movement fundamentals every PvP player needs. Experiment with it, learn with it, and most importantly, have fun. The more you fight, the better you get. If this guide was helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more PvP builds and advanced tips. Got questions? Ask in the comments. I'll help you out. See you on the seas.